It's time again for Coach's Corner with Jay, featuring the Knowles head coach, Jay Sacosta, and our host, Jeff Stevens.
No matter what size you are, maybe it's time to transform your physique. For your convenience, Transforming Physiques is open all day, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Thursday, Fridays till 7, and Saturday 9 to 3. Take advantage of free weights and heavy-duty workout equipment. For expert advice, call trainer Jay Abel to schedule one-on-one fitness training. Aerobic classes will be starting in September. Adult, student, and family memberships are available at Transforming Physiques Fitness Center and Tanning Salon. The Woodsfield Clinic, a division of Wheeling Hospital, opened recently with familiar and friendly faces in the office. Joan and Janie know our area and many of the patients, which is a huge asset to the clinic. Dr. Charles D'Annunzio brings 30 years of healthcare experience and is focused on the needs of a rural practice. The Woodsfield Clinic will be expanding to 5 days a week starting September 6th to meet community needs. We are here because you ask us to be. A division of Wheeling Hospital, finding solutions, serving with care.
Students are able to get a very good education, gain some valuable experiences, and they don't have to leave or go far away to do it.
Whatever I wanted to do, I could go down to Athens and everything would transfer down.
So not only is it close to home, it's a decent price. Small classrooms and a friendly atmosphere. It just makes for a great place to start or even go all the way with the whole degree.
Ohio University Eastern. It's a new day.
If you're around others that smoke, you are at risk.
Sitting behind someone who is smoking in a stadium for 3 hours is the same thing as a non-smoker smoking 1 cigarette. Riding in a car with somebody who is smoking with the windows rolled up for 1 hour is the same as a non-smoker smoking 4 cigarettes.
And sitting in the non-smoking section of a restaurant is just like smoking 1.5 cigarettes.
Your choice leaves us no choice.
To learn how to protect yourself and others from secondhand smoke, call Monroe County Tobacco Use Prevention and Control at 472-1677. Would you like to break the tobacco habit? We can help. Call Tammy at the Monroe County Health Department, 472-1677, extension 204.
Good evening and welcome to Coach's Corner. Tonight, Coach and I will recap a very long night last Friday night down at Caldwell, and we'll also talk with a couple of guests. Tonight we have Justin Hogue and Cole Lewis with us, and also look ahead to this week's homecoming night opponent, the Fort Clyde Cadets. Well, Coach, I guess maybe we could save time here in the early going, maybe just use some clips that we've talked about in previous weeks when we didn't talk about the game Friday night, because it seemed like it was just pretty much the same thing again. Defense plays well, offense just not where it needs to be.
Well, we thought in the previous week, Jeff, against River, that we were coming out of things offensively because we put like 250 some yards of offense up, and we had 176 yards passing and around 80 yards rushing. So we thought that was maybe the start of something good, but we went right back to our old ways like we did in Game 1 and Game 2, and we did absolutely nothing on offense. Take away the first drive, we did move the ball down to their 30-yard line, and from that point on, the offense was pretty non-existent.
One thing I know come up there before the game started, and Dale and I briefly discussed at the beginning of the game, we won the toss and you elected to defer. And in past years, it's been something that you'd like to have the ball on offensively early in the game, but this year, or at least this game, you decided to go with the defense on the field first.
Well, looking at what we do best, Jeff, and right now in the first 3 ball games was play defense. And, when you have a defense that's playing good defense like ours, the best thing you can do to try to get yourself offense and field position is, if you win the toss, which we hadn't done previous to that, is defer and kick the ball away. Yeah, in the past, we like to take the football and go on offense. If you take it down and put it in the end zone, that puts a lot of pressure on the opposing team's offense. But when you're not playing good offense, you're not generating a lot of offense, you want to try to get yourself in the best field position you can to score. So we felt if we got a good kickoff, got them deep in their own territory, and they made them go 3 and out and got a decent return, then we could give ourselves good field position. I think we ended up with the ball at about the 30-yard line, and we drove from our 30 to their 30, but that's when the drive stalled.
I guess probably the big story, the early part of the game especially then, was the weather delay. And from a fan standpoint, I guess if you're going to have weather problems, Caldwell's as good a place as any because the stands have a roof. But from a coaching and a player standpoint, that's not exactly the best place to be. You decided, of course, obviously to take the team over to the bus first, and then I guess that bus probably was going to get hot real quick, so you went on up on the hill to where there is a building.
Well, you never know what's going to happen in a lightning delay or rain delay of that nature. The main thing was to get the kids off the field as quickly as possible and get them to a safe place, and that was the bus, was the quickest place to take them. We knew that we couldn't sit in the bus all that time with cramped up quarters, so we just had the bus take us up on the hill to the building that we were in. You're right, the facilities at Caldwell are not good at all. In fact, we dress at home because there's no facility there other than if you go to the school, and then once you go to the school, you got to bus out to the field, then you got to bus back to the school and shower. So we normally, that's the way we've been doing it for years, go dressed, after the game, get on the bus, come home and shower. But with a delay like that, that's not good for either team, but both teams had to deal with it, and fortunately we were able to get the game in. We just hated to see the delay, but you got to be always on the concern and look out for the safety of the players.
Well, during the time of the delay, the fact that you're located a distance away from the field, would you have any communication with either the game officials or the Caldwell people to kind of know what was going on and to give you much warning that it was going to be time to restart?
Well, once we got to the building up on the hill, we were there for a little while, and then we did have one of the officials come up, or their athletic director came up first and informed us of what they had found out from the National Weather Service through the Sheriff's Department as to what they thought a cell, when it had hit that area and when it was going to be moving through. And then we had contact with one of the officials that basically told us the same thing. So they felt that a cell was to hit the area around 10 to 8 in that neighborhood, and then was going to move out, just a matter of how long it would take to move it out. And then we also had a conference with the official athletic director and their coach as to what we wanted to do in case we did not get the game in. And the plan was, both schools agreed on, we were going to come back the next night and play it Saturday night basically at the same time. So fortunately we got it in. No one likes to have the delay. That kind of interrupts everybody's momentum, but both teams are in the same position.
And it seems like the last couple of years the weather has dictated the schedule quite a bit during the year.
Yeah, second, third, fourth week, it seems like the last several years we run into that type of situation.
This past Monday night, then, your JV team was able to take the field here at home against Caldwell, and they came out with a win. Any comments as far as those young men?
Well, to date, our JV team is 2 wins and a loss. They lost to Shadyside, defeated River the week before last, and this past Monday night they defeated Caldwell here at home. And I told the JVs after the game I felt I saw improvement. I didn't get to see the first game against Shadyside, but I did get to see a good bit of the second game against River. And as we tell the kids in the reserve games, they don't have an opportunity to play together a lot in terms of as a team. They even practice as a team. So we just tell them to go out, give everything they have, give 100%, basically concentrate on executing the fundamentals of blocking and tackling. And I thought they got better this week, better than they were the previous week. So that's what JV games are for, to give those young guys that do not get a lot of playing time on Friday night an opportunity to play in a game situation against somebody else, and we did come out with a win.
Well, when we come back, we have 2 guests tonight, and we will talk to Cole Lewis and Justin Hogue right after this.
GAP Wireless is your hometown wireless agent. That's great news for you because now you don't have to drive 30 miles or more if you have a simple problem with your cell phone. Maybe your current plan just isn't right for you and the way you use your phone. Well, GAP Wireless is your one-stop shop for wireless. Stop in to customize your plan, pick up accessories, or check out the latest audio and video streaming camera phone with a radio. GAP Wireless is an Alltel authorized agent.
Green Acres is the place to go. Garden tilling or grass to mow. Showroom spread out so far and wide. Come and see all our four-wheel rides.
Ah, the steels are what you've got to see. Chainsawing or attacking weeds. Lawn Boy and Toro are sold here.
care, save a buck. You're really in luck. Green Acres, we are there.
Emergencies happen 24 hours a day. When seconds count and options matter, you need access to a facility close to home. An emergency room in a hospital with a direct link to Ohio State University medical specialists. Doctors and nurses there for you 24 hours a day. The emergency services at Barnesville Hospital are ready when seconds count. What option will you choose? Urgent care with limited hours or 24-hour care from an accredited hospital? Barnesville Hospital Emergency Services.
Our first guest this evening is Cole Lewis. Cole wears number 7. He is a junior and plays free safety on defense. Let's talk about that position of free safety there for a minute, Cole. It looks like back there you're a long way from the line of scrimmage on that. Tell us about some of your keys and responsibilities.
Well, normally I just got the middle of the field, and there's no one in the middle. I just try to be the deepest guy on the field at all times.
Now, this past Monday night, you had a chance to play quarterback a little bit in the JV team there, and had, fortunate enough to score a couple of touchdowns. Tell us about those.
The line did a pretty good job blocking, and the one I just ran around the end, it was wide open, and that's about it.
Now, as Coach and I talked earlier there on Friday night, with the long delay, how is it as a team? How did you deal with it, or you yourself, as far as having to sit for an awfully long time?
Well, mostly just got to keep your mind on the game and try not to get distracted about anything else.
Coach didn't have you out back practicing plays or anything like that?
No, we just trying to stay relaxed.
And probably seemed longer than an hour and a half when you're sitting up there. I know it seemed like a long time from the grandstands and that. Now, as that defensive back, it seems like every time that our next guest, Justin, comes in, he takes all the interceptions away from you. So maybe one of these days you'll be able to step in front of him and take one away from him, huh? And that'd be good.
Hopefully one day.
On that. Well, Coach, I know it's a tough decision there, like on Monday nights when to play one of your defensive starters in a JV game. You like to get everybody as much experience as possible, but yet you hate to put the player at risk. But first year starter on defense, Cole's done a nice job here this year.
Well, he has, Jeff, and we weren't sure exactly what position or how we're going to use Cole at the beginning of the year, but in our preseason passing scrimmage, we put him in the secondary, and we felt he did a pretty nice job. He would probably be the first to admit and tell you that he doesn't have a lot of quickness or speed, which you look for in a secondary person, but he's a pretty good athlete, and he's gotten bigger, and he moves a lot better than he did before, and he did a nice job for us there, so we felt we could use him as a defensive secondary person, either at a corner or safety. It ended up we used him as a safety and a free safety. As he mentioned, most of the time he's going to be your deepest man on the field. He's going to be your center fielder, so to speak, and that's why they call him a free safety, because a lot of times they're free to help out with either the corners or somebody coming down the middle. So he's done a nice job for us thus far at that position. And offensively, he really hasn't got any reps on the offensive side of the ball. We've used him and worked with him in preseason as a backup quarterback, and that's where he played last year. And this past Monday, as you mentioned, we used him in our reserve game. No, we don't want to take a chance of getting him banged up. That's why, in fact, I told the coaches after the reserve game, there'll be no running with Cole unless he has to. In that situation, he might have to scramble. But as far as design running plays, I don't want to do that, take a chance and get him injured. But I do want to get him some reps of running the offense, handing the ball off, throwing the football, and because he's not getting that at the varsity level on Friday nights. So that's the reason we have him dressed there, and he's, like I say, starting for us in the secondary. So hopefully, he'll get some more valuable experience on the offensive side of the ball during the reserve games. And I think before it's all over with, see him pick a few off in the secondary on Friday nights on the varsity side of the ball, and we feel to just continue to get better.
After 4 games in, you're starting to feel more comfortable. I mean, I'm sure that first game or two, you're probably a little nervous back there.
Yeah, a lot more comfortable now.
And it appears that maybe the pressure may be on the defensive backs this week, because we think Fort Fry may throw the ball quite a bit. Am I right?
Yeah, they're a passing team.
Now, hopefully here, maybe on the highlight packages here later on the year, we can see some interceptions and maybe some big plays out of you. Appreciate you being here tonight. And when we come back, we'll talk with Justin Hogan.
A
A good football team works together, helping each other to do their best. A good insurance agency works together too, showing you the best coverage for you and your family. F.W. Shoemaker Insurance Agency represents several companies, so you benefit from personally designed coverage for your home, autos, or business. Talk to one of their agents about all your insurance needs, including life insurance and annuities. As they continue to look out for your future, F.W. Shoemaker Agency is celebrating over 100 years of service. The Seminoles and F.W. Shoemaker Agency, two winning traditions.
When we first opened our doors in 1929, Marietta Memorial Hospital marked the beginning of a commitment to healthcare in our community. From the start, the vision of compassionate care has been the standard for all that we do. Through the years, Marietta Memorial has been a leader in our community with advancements in both patient care and technology. As we celebrate our 75th anniversary, we continue that commitment, working to make a measurable difference in the health of the community where we live and work.
Most financial institutions like to talk about how big and strong they are. At Ohio Valley Community Credit Union, we'll show you just how big. Ohio Valley Community Credit Union. We're as big and strong as all of our member groups. Everyone in Belmont County and everyone in Monroe County. Ohio Valley Community Credit Union. You'll be pleasantly surprised at the clean and beautiful used furniture and appliances at Bob's, like this Hard Rock Maple Dining Room suite at only $5.99, or this 5-piece kitchen set. Like new and antique bed frames, new bedding, and bedroom suits. Plus recliners, tables, desks, dressers, and lots of other items with inventory constantly changing. Appliances are priced to sell. Washers, dryers, refrigerators, stoves, and this upright freezer at only $319. The price is right at Bob's Used Furniture and Appliances.
Our next guest tonight is number 10, Justin Hogue. Justin is a senior, a defensive back. And we see Justin in a lot in long yardage situations as the extra defensive back. So since you're only on the field, Justin, at certain times, how do you keep track of, when you're supposed to be out there and when you're not?
I just follow Coach Sherman around the whole time.
And
he tells me to stay right with him, and I'm right there.
So by getting his signals, or then he just yells?
He yells for me
to go. So the other night, I guess, I think it's paid off pretty well this year, because in the first 4 games you've had 3 pass interceptions, which would lead the team. Tell us about the interception the other night. The ball looked like it was deflected first.
Yeah, Jordan Wells tipped it, but I guess I was just in the right place at the right time.
And then you were able to turn it upfield a little bit and get a little bit of yardage out of it. And at the end of the game, when Torrey was out with an injury, notice you're lining up at wide receiver. Is that something you get a chance to practice much, or just, you had to fill in?
Sometimes in practice I get a chance.
Now in the past, you've played some quarterback at the JV level, and you've kind of, looked around different positions and stuff, so you've become kind of a jack of all trades here. Is there a certain position there that you would like to play if you had the opportunity, or just whatever?
I like playing wide receiver.
You run downfield fast enough, and Dex can air it out to you probably, huh?
Yeah.
Now in those defensive back situations, that gives us 2 safeties there. How do you and Cole split the responsibilities up there? What basically goes on?
He's on the left side of the field, and I'm on the right side of the field. And we just have the seams in most defenses.
And I guess it's paying off pretty well then. You've been able to read enough plays back there to get you 3 interceptions this year. Your coach is a young man who's been asked to step in as a role player, and through the first 4 games of the season, things have went very well.
Well, we've been real pleased with Justin and his number one attitude. He's just a super young man, and he'll just very coachable. He'll do whatever you ask him to do. Last year, he did see some action at quarterback. Dexter got hurt, and he stepped in and did a nice job for us, and didn't really play on the defensive side of the ball. This year, we felt that we wanted to try to play him somewhere, and we weren't sure exactly where, but we felt that defensive secondary possibly, and that's the way things have worked out. As you mentioned, he stepped in and done a nice job for us in the secondary, especially in our defenses where we're in long or passing situations, and he's come up with, as you mentioned, 3 interceptions. He leads the team in interceptions, and hopefully he can pick off a few more before the season is over. I think both him and Cole will get their workout this week because last week Fort Fry put the ball in the air 33 times. So if they do anything like they did last week, the secondary is going to be a key. Of course, the pass rush is a big key as far as your pass defense is concerned, but the secondary guys are going to have to be on their toes. Offensive side of the ball, that doesn't mean that, even though Justin hasn't been in there, that he might not be inserted in there as a quarterback and also as a wide receiver. So he could go in at either one of those positions on the offensive side of the ball. But most of his playing time has been on the defensive side, and we're real pleased with what he has done. And like I say, he's a fine young man and never causes you a bit of problems, and that's why we want to try to get him in as much as possible.
And if memory serves me right, all three of those interceptions have been at key times and either given us an opportunity to score or have stopped the other team and kept them off the scoreboard. So that must make a guy feel good to know he's making big plays at key times.
Yeah.
So hopefully keep up the good work. And as Coach said, maybe all the defensive backs can get several interceptions this week, and then maybe things go right. Maybe one of you can turn one downfield and get it in the end zone.
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay. That pretty well does it for our guests tonight. When we come back, we'll look at some highlights from this past week's game at Caldwell.
Be a winner. Catch a great deal on a new or pre-owned car or truck at Milton Ford. Look at the selection in the lot or let them use their locator service to find exactly what you want. Milton's have served Monroe County with quality Ford parts and service for 4 generations. And there's still a Home Light dealer offering sales, service, and parts. So why not let Mike help you reach your goal when it comes to your next vehicle? Be a winner. Shop Milton Ford. Dr. Jay Seidler and nurse practitioner Carol Shoemaker and the staff of Marietta Healthcare Physicians want to take this opportunity to thank all of their patients for your continued support over the past several years. Dr. Seidler and Carol are thrilled to come home and serve your healthcare needs. We're here for you Monday through Friday and accessible by phone at other times. So if you're already a patient, thank you. If not, call to make arrangements for transferring your medical records to Marietta Healthcare Physicians. McDonald's of Woodsfield is not just great food and lots of fun, it's a vital part of our community. Perla and Dell believe in supporting our kids. That's why McDonald's is proud to be the exclusive halftime sponsor for the Monroe Central Seminoles. And proud to offer 24-hour drive-through service. McDonald's food whenever you're hungry.
This is the receiver of the Woodsfield Redskins, and I'm loving it.
Stop by and try McDonald's latest chicken premium sandwiches.
We're loving it.
So before or after the big game, celebrate at McDonald's.
We'll start our highlights out tonight, Coach, with a very nice gesture by the Caldwell administration.
It sure was, Jeff. Here they're honoring Coach Briggs for all of his years of service as assistant coach. And you see there Mr. Brelsford, who used to be a principal at Monroe Central and in our district is now the superintendent. That was really a super nice gesture for them to do that, and a well-deserved honor.
On this play, we see the Caldwell quarterback try to go right, come back to the left, and there's a lot of running around. Then finally, Matt Ishii makes a play.
Yeah, number 7, Logan Clark here, Caldwell's quarterback, will try to bootleg to their right, and he has nowhere to go. We kind of miss a tackle over here, and then he tries to reverse his field, and Matt Ishii, number 53, does a nice job from his linebacker spot making the tackle.
Sophomore tailback Zach Rang gains 15 yards.
Now as the rain starts to fall, we're lined up in a slot I with a slot to the left, and tailback is Zach Ring. We got motion this way. We'll toss the ball to Zach. He does a nice job cutting it back inside, breaks the tackle, picks up a nice gain.
On the very next play, Torrey Prickett picks up 8 yards.
Here we line up in a wing right formation with a strong back to the right, and we'll run like a little delayed dive here. We'll pull the onside guard and trap, and Torrey Prickett does a nice job. You saw him there do a nice job of switching the ball from his left arm to his right arm and picks up a nice gain.
quarterback Dexter Hughes finds some opening running room to the left.
Here again, we line up in a slot left formation, what we call Liz, with an eye backfield, and Dexter will try to throw the ball. We try to run a little hitch and go, or sideline and go, and the nick wasn't open, so Dexter tucked it away and turned it upfield for some nice yardage.
After a similar turnover, Caldwell in good field position, but your defensive end, Stephen Habig, gets a sack of the quarterback.
Yeah, we fumbled the punt and gave them an excellent opportunity at our 25, but here out of the Twins formation, Stephen Habig, number 76, defensive end, does a nice job staying to the outside. Logan Clark can't get around him, and he sacks him for a loss.
Here we'll see Torrey Prickett give you nice positive yardage on a first down play.
Basically, same play as we ran earlier. Torrey picked up yardage here. We're lined up in the wing right again. He's a strong back to the right. Does a little delayed dive, and then he cuts it back to the inside. Picks up about 9 yards.
We're now early second quarter, and Jordan Wells picks up his first interception of the year.
They got a wide receiver out to the left, and they'll try to throw the ball. Their tight end kind of coming down straight down the middle of the field, and Jordan does a real nice job here of staying with things, and he steps right up, makes the interception, stumble a little bit right there. I think if he'd have cut a couple more steps, he might have been able to pick up more yardage down the sidelines.
Jordan Wells and Justin Hogue team up to knock the ball right down near the goal line.
Here, Caldwell lines up with 2 wideouts, and they'll try to go deep down the field. And an excellent job here defensively in the secondary by Jordan Wells, number 21, and coming over from the middle is number 10, Justin Ho, one of the guests on our show tonight.
Well, Coach, you can't start the second half any better than this.
It's exactly true, Jeff, and they kick off from the right hash, and we see an electrifying 70-yard, I believe, return on the kickoff by Zach Ring, and we put Zach in deep as a deep man last year, and we felt he had the potential to do this. He comes up, fields the ball, breaks it to the outside, and takes it right down the sidelines, and now cuts it back and outraces everybody to the end zone. Excellent kickoff return by Zach Ring.
Well, after taking the 6-0 lead, you get real nice kickoff coverage here from number 51, Martis Stevens.
Now, Martis has done an excellent job on special teams for us. Here you see they misplay the ball, get him deep in their own territory. Martis does a nice job getting down and making a nice hit, nice tackle on the kickoff, and he's done a tremendous job there for us.
Here's Zach Ring with positive yardage on first down.
We line up an I formation with the wing to the left side, and we just run an ISO off of the right side. We're actually unbalanced to this side, and Zach Ring will take it, cut it back inside, make a nice little move there, pick up some nice yardage.
Caldwell tries to go with a little misdirection, and Chris Lazier steps through and makes the play.
Yeah, they're trying to run the counter here with Thompson, number 23, coming back in the slot from left to right. And right there you'll see Chris Lazier, number 85, does an outstanding job of staying at home and makes the tackle along with help from Mike English.
Defensive end Tyler Knowlton makes a quarterback sack.
Yeah, nice defensive player by number 82, Tyler Knowlton, from his defensive end position. They'll line up in a wishbone formation, and they'll actually try to run the option. They fake the inside dive and come out, but Tyler's doing what he's supposed to do and be all over the quarterback.
Well, Coach, fans hate to hear everything talk about. There's the old tip drill, but here's the old tip drill.
Now they line up with 2 wide receivers, and they try to go to Thompson, who's number 23, out to the left of your screen. They just throw the ball up in the air, and the old tip drill is exactly right. Right there's Justin Hogue to be in line to pick one off and take it down the field and get it out of bounds.
Dexter Hughes finds Zach Ring for a short gain.
Here we line up 4 wide receivers in a shotgun formation, and Dexter will hit Zach Ring, who's number 30, lined up in his slot to the left of your screen right there. He makes the catch and spins away from one tackler, but is tackled immediately after that.
And now let's look at our Citizens National Bank play of the week.
Kicker is number 21, Hessen. It's a high kick. It's short. We'll be taken on the run.
That is Ring.
Ring's got some room.
50, 40,
foot race.
30, 20,
Got a block.
10, 5, Zach
There you
Ring,
go.
touchdown, Seminoles. There's the start of that third quarter. That's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 75 yards.
And what a confidence builder for Zach Ring.
And there's the Zach Ring we've been waiting to see all year.
The Citizens National Bank of Woodsfield, home-owned and independently operated since 1933. Your community bank. Our officers, directors, and staff are dedicated to customer and community service. We reinvest your deposit dollars locally. So remember, banking with us is not only good for you, but it's good for your community. Citizens National Bank of Woodsfield, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Bill Respect. You heard me talk many times about how we offer you the best variety at the best possible price every day. And we do it with no cards, no gimmicks, no hassle. Just like you, we're working to get the most we can for the money we spend. So if these things are important to you, come home to Respects. We'll even add customer service as we continue what Grandma started over 70 years ago.
Why buy it and store it when you can just ask Woodsfield True Value for the tools and equipment you need for your next project? Rent that auger, log splitter, 40-foot extension ladder, or pressure washer just in time for fall chores. If you need earth-moving equipment, hand tools, party supplies, lawn and garden tools, or stuff for automotive care, concrete work, plumbing, and so much more, help is just around the corner at Just Ask Rental, Woodsfield True Value. For over 100 years, Bauer Turner Furniture has been serving our community with quality furniture and bedding. After a big day, kick back and relax in a dual recliner sofa, or choose from living room suites featuring couches with comfy armchairs or matching recliners. Then pick the perfect coffee table and tables and lamp to suit your personality. Of course, they stock bedroom furniture to please the country, traditional, or contemporary decorator. Kitchen tables and chairs, hutches, entertainment centers, and more can be delivered to your home this week. So stop by Bauer Turner Furniture today.
Welcome back. This week's opponent is the Fort Fry Cadets. And on the year, the Fort Fry Cadets come in with a record of 0-4. And most years, Coach, you might be concerned about playing an 0-4 team, but this year I think that should make the team even hungrier to know that there's an opponent out there that has a less record than us.
Well, a lot of seasons in the past, Jeff, we've come into this game where they've been 4-0, we've been 4-0, or we've been 4-0, they've been, 3-1. And so, this is a situation where both teams are, in terms of wins, are struggling thus far in the early season or first half of the season. As you mentioned, them 0-4, us 1-3. So both teams are in desperate need of getting a win. There's no doubt about that. And as we tell our kids, it doesn't make any difference what the records are. And this team, even though they're 0-4, number one, you've got to look that they've lost to some pretty good teams, and they've lost, a close ball game that they could have possibly won. So they could be right in the same situation as us in 1-3, but they are 0-4. And so we'll have to be on our toes in order to get the job done.
Well, they started out the year, I know, with a 1-point loss against the River Pilots, and since then, I've kind of lost track of them, but, what do you know about the Cadets?
Well, they opened their season, as you mentioned, against River, and we know, because that's a common opponent, River has a good football team. They're 3-1 to this point. They lost that game to River 21-20, so that was a very close, tough loss. They faced Belpre, who is a 2-2 football team, in game number 2, and they actually started out real well in the first half, and they actually had 4 starters, at least 4, maybe 5 starters out that weren't even dressed and didn't play, and they held their own. In fact, they were up on Belpre 21-10 at half and ended up losing. Belpre scored 31 unanswered points and defeated them 41-21. And then in week 3, they lost to Warren, who's a bigger school. Their record 1-3. They lost them 28-14. And then this past week, they lost to their rival Waterford, who is 3-1, 31-12. So they've lost to 2 3-1 ball clubs. They've put some points on the board, although they've allowed a lot of points. They've scored a total of 67, averaging 16.7 points per game. And on the defensive side, they allowed 121, giving up an average of 30.2. So something's got to give. We've struggled offensively. They've struggled defensively. So, we'll see what happens there. Rushing the football, they are 119 rushes, 223 yards, averaging 56 yards per game. And on the passing side, they've completed 67 out of 124 passes for 773 yards and average 144 yards a game. So if you look at the stats and what they've done so far, they've probably leaned to throwing the ball a little more. That depends on a lot who's at quarterback. They've used a couple different people at quarterback, so it's really hard to tell who will line up and basically what they'll try to do. As I mentioned earlier, last week they lined up against Waterford in basically a run-and-shoot passing formation with Tyler Engel at quarterback, and they threw the ball 33 times. So you just don't know. They've had occasions where they put him in the backfield, try to run him, give the ball to him and let him run the ball. He's definitely an asset, and he's one of the leaders of their team.
I know from watching him in some other sports, that name comes up quite a bit as far as his basketball and his baseball career. Offensively, as you said, that has to make them difficult to prepare for when they go from running a lot one week to passing a lot the next. Who would be some of the other key performers offensively there that the Cadets have?
Well, sometimes when you struggle, you try a lot of different things. That's not really the case with us, even though we struggled offensively. Like I told our kids, it's a matter of execution. We've been running the same plays for 35 years. There's nothing wrong with what the plays are. It's just a matter of, in the past, our problems have been turnovers, penalties, and not executing what we do run the way it needs to be executed. So we're just trying to zero in on making our execution a little better. Fort Fry, a little different approach. As you said, you don't know what they're going to do because one week they line up and throw the ball like last week. The other week they'll line up and run the ball. They're showing you some different formations. So we don't really know what they'll do. So we got to prepare for a lot of different things. Basically, offensively, you're going to see them in probably a wing, right or left, with an eye backfield. You could see them in a slot, one way or the other, with a wide receiver and a back inside that receiver. They'll run some out of the wishbone, where they'll have a full house backfield. We call three backs in the backfield behind the quarterback, and they'll run some wishbone. They'll also spread it out, and they'll run some what we call run and shoot, where they'll have a double slot. And also maybe they'll run a trips one way or the other. It depends on who they put in a quarterback, and they probably lean to more throwing the football when they got Engel at quarterback than they do otherwise. But offensively, T.J. Lang's their center. He's a senior, number 55, 5'6", 185. Their guards are senior Derek Thiemann, 5'11", 175, and Saban Strawler, a junior, 6'2", 180, number 56. Philip Husk is one tackle, 6'5", big kid, 6'5", 210. He's a senior, number 66. And the other tackle is a sophomore, Dustin Davis, number 77, 6'1", 270. And one of their tight ends would be Trent Best, number 10. He's a senior, 6'1", 170. Actually, there's two Best boys. One of them is injured and probably lost for the season. Another end is Steve Kramer, number 12, a junior, 6'1", 165, a good receiver. And Randy Tompkins, a guy they like to go to, number 44, 6', 176. He's also a junior. We mentioned Tyler Engel. He's run the ball 24 times, 38 yards. He's passed the ball 43 of 84 for 430 yards. And he's number 11. He's a junior, 5'11", 180, a very good athlete. Their fullback is a hard runner, number 24, Calvin Dixon. He's a senior, 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's their leading rusher, 35 carries, 167 yards. And number 36, Randy Dennis, a junior, 5'8", 160, has about 37, 40 yards rushing the football. And then one of their wingbacks or wideouts, flanker, whatever, it would be Tyler Brooks, number 9, a junior, 5'7", 150. So that's basically how they line up offensively and some of the things they do offensively.
Now, you mentioned that the Cadets have struggled somewhat on the defensive side of the ball. Can we expect to see them in a 4-man front, 5-man front? What do we look for?
Well, they've actually shown both, Jeff. They've shown a variation of the 4. They'll run a straight 4-4, base force 4, we call it, and then they'll also run a 4-3, where they have 3 inside linebackers and utilize their other backer to the strength of the formation. And they've also shown a 5. Again, when you're struggling a little bit defensively, you're going to look for maybe different ways to try to stop your opponent. So they've jumped into some different defenses. When they run a 50, they'll have a 5-man front. They'll sometimes be what we call double eagle, where they'll move their tackles inside, and they'll have 3 guys bunched in the middle there. So on the defensive side of the ball, some of the same guys, Lang and Husk at the down positions, Tompkins and either Thiemann or John Brown at the number 47 senior at the other end, Calvin Dixon at the middle linebacker, Strawler and Dyer at another linebacker, in the secondary, Engel, Steve Kramer, and Ian Bullock. They've moved a lot of guys around, so we not only don't know what they're going to be in, but we don't know for sure who's going to line up in those positions, because they've played different defenses, plus they've had some injuries and they've had guys in and out of there, so we don't know exactly who will line up there.
Well, and it sure has to feel nice to finally get a chance to play at home after being on the road 3 times the first 4 weeks.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it is, Jeff, 4 of our last 6 games are here at home. We only have to go away 2 other times, so that makes it nice, and they're not long trips to Magnolia and to Barnesville, so it does make it nice to be able to play at home, especially when you have a delay like last week and you end up getting home around midnight or so.
And it'd be an opportunity also. It looks like all the light poles have been finished and the lights should be in full force tomorrow night.
Should be in full force. All the lights, thanks to the light plant doing a tremendous job under the direction of Floyd Longwell and his workers. They've got them all up, and so hopefully we'll see some bright lights Friday night.
And that kickoff is tomorrow night at 7:30, and tomorrow night also is homecoming. And when we come back with a rather lengthy wrap-up, we'll review the homecoming activities plus some other things right after this.
Monroe Family Health Center is and always has been a part of your community.
For almost 30 years, Monroe Family Health Center has been providing excellence in comprehensive health care in Monroe County. We invite you to visit us and take advantage of our lab, x-ray, immunization, medication assistance, and other services available in Woodsfield. All insurances, including Medicaid, are accepted, with a sliding fee scale based on income and family size.
4 doctors and a nurse practitioner are ready to serve you and your family. What's that supposed to be? That's a car Spinky has it in his son. That's not a car, that's a piece of junk. Someone know what this is. Ow! Oh, brother. I have a great idea. Better go for it. Yeah! I'm not going to take them for.
I'm not fine till I check down board.
You'll be pleasantly surprised at the clean and beautiful used furniture and appliances at Bob's, like this Hard Rock Maple Dining Room suite at only $5.99, or this 5-piece kitchen set. Like new and antique bed frames, new bedding, and bedroom suits. Plus recliners, tables, desks, dressers, and lots of other items with inventory constantly changing. Appliances are priced to sell. Washers, dryers, refrigerators, stoves, and this upright freezer at only $319. The price is right at Bob's Used Furniture and Appliances. Since 1887, folks have trusted Woodsfield Savings Bank with their financial needs. So when you need someone to lead you with your financial decisions, come to the friendly folks at Woodsfield Savings Bank, where customers count. Because of your busy schedule, we offer a drive-through and night deposit box, as well as convenient parking, direct deposit, and automatic payments. The folks at Woodsfield Savings Bank truly believe that making an investment in our kids brings the biggest return to our community.
And as I say, tomorrow night, finally, back home here at Monroe Memorial Park, you still have an opportunity to get pre-sale tickets for the home game tomorrow. Tickets will be on sale at Monroe Central High School during school hours. Also available at Woodsfield Elementary School and Skyview Elementary School until at least mid-afternoon, and also at the Woodsfield Marathon Station. Tickets in advance, students $3, senior citizens $3, adults $4, and then all tickets are $5 at the gate. As I said, tomorrow night is homecoming. The homecoming queen candidates are Kaylin Donnelly, Jewel Jones, Lindsay Londefeld, Carly Shoemaker, B.J. Smith, and Kim Stalder. And their attendants, freshman attendant Stephanie Jones, sophomore attendant Casey Pickenpearl, junior attendant Laura Stempert. And tomorrow night there will be a parade, I believe starting at about 6 o'clock, where they will march out to the field, and then the crowning of the queen will take place at halftime tomorrow night. Earlier tonight at the bonfire, the homecoming king was crowned. Those candidates, Mike English, Stephen Habig, Dexter Hughes, Nick Joris, Chris Lazier, and Seth Rosen. The game tomorrow night is a radio game, WBNV 93.5, and it starts a stretch here of quite a few Seminole games that will be on a radio station here the remainder of the year. Sideliner board winners for this week, we had two winners. First quarter and halftime winner, Charlie Brooks. Third quarter and final score winner, Lance LaFault. Again, as is the case at most home games, sandwiches will be available before the game, courtesy of the sideliners over behind the marathon station. Also be sure to get your 50-50 ticket. I believe at the other home game, that winning ticket took home better than $300. Usually also football moms have a raffle going for the game ball, and also pick up your lucky program. So quite a bit going on there, Coach. You've got a couple things you want to mention also that's going on here in the near future.
Well, first of all, Jeff, along with all those other things you mentioned going on prior to the game, there's a good possibility that the sideliners will have a tent set up, and they'll have some items that we sold earlier in the year as far as T-shirts, long sleeve T-shirts, pull sweatshirts, pullovers, jackets, a lot of nice items that people might be interested in as the weather starts to cool down. If you're interested in something like that, the sideliners should have those for sale prior to the game. Also, the 200 Club is now in the process of doing renewals for next year's members, and we're looking for new members as well as the old members to renew their membership. Everyone that was in last year should have received a letter. If you didn't, let us know about it. It wasn't done intentionally, but sometimes you in the mailings miss those things, but let us know. We'll get you a letter out. If you join this year, you're entitled to come to two parties, this year's party and next year's party, and you're allowed to bring a guest, and you have an opportunity to win. We give away two $25 winners every week of the year round, so there's an opportunity to win. So if you haven't been in before and you want to get in the 200 Club, just let us know, give me a call or let me know, one of the sideliners, and we'll get you in. Also, another event that's coming up that I want to mention, the football moms are having their annual tour of homes, which will take place on Sunday, October the 2nd. And that will take place. They'll have, I understand, I don't know all the homes involved, but they'll have several homes involved and a couple other things, I think, in the county that are going to be on the tour. And I believe this year the tour will be based out of the field house. So they'll be setting up here, and if you haven't received or picked up a ticket prior to that, you can do that at the day of the tour. The tour will be from 1 to 5, and it costs $5 to go on the tour. It's been a big success in the past, and if you haven't gone on one, you might want to try one. It's a good opportunity to see some beautiful homes. So if you want a ticket to that, either see a football mom prior to or come out here and pick up a ticket at the field house. And if you haven't had a chance to look at the field house, you have an opportunity to look at the field house that day too.
And then also on Monday night, then the JV team would be scheduled to travel to Fort Fry to play against the cadets in Beverly. I think that's a lot of items to cover there. Hopefully we've got it all talked about here this week. And as I said earlier, just probably the biggest thing is that comfort of being at home. You feel a lot better when you're in your own field house and walk out on your own turf.
Yeah, it sure is nice to play at home. And like I say, 4 out of the last 6 games being at home will be a plus for us.
Well, hopefully this will be the week that the Seminoles will break out and have some good things happen. And if that is the case, be with us next Thursday night when Coach and I will talk to a couple of players and show highlights of that game and get you ready for the next week's opponent. That'll about do it for tonight. Hope to see you tomorrow night here at Monroe Memorial Park. Seminoles versus Fort Fry Cadets. Kick off at 7:30. See you then.